By April 4th, 1945, units of the 89th Infantry Division had penetrated deep into central Germany. On that day, the Allies first stumbled onto the Ohrdruf concentration camp, a satellite camp of the Buchenwald concentration camp network. It was here, amidst the stacks of emaciated corpses, where Americans first learned about the ghastly nightmare of the Holocaust. Only then did GIs truly understand what the war was really all about. Harold Steele, a farm boy from the fertile country near Dover, Illinois, knew all about hard work and the grim facts of life. He was a child of the Depression after all. But nothing, not even the brutality of combat he experienced as he led an infantry platoon across central Germany, could prepare him for what he encountered on April 4th. His platoon was one of the very first to discover the concentration camp at Ohrdruf. Here is how Steele remembers the day.
And in this one particular day, my platoon happened to be in a lead position of the company and a company lead position of the battalion. And I had my scout out front. And at about 11 o'clock, I'd guess from 600 to 800 yards, there was low-profile buildings and some trees. But as it gained, I'd say 100 yards from there, I noticed 2 U.S. recon vehicles. So this offered us an opportunity saying, well, apparently the Germans are gone. Some of our buddies are there, and so we advanced rather quickly. We went between the area between the vehicles and the first building, and I circled around to my left. Here in this open area were the bodies that had just been machine gunned. They were clothed in striped prisoner uniforms, and their bodies were crumbled, and that was the first shock. But then I looked over to my left, and here was a high pile, stacked like cordwood, of many, many emaciated bodies stacked up. And as I walked over in that area, there was a deep hole, and there were more bodies covered with slaked lime. I knew it was slaked lime because as a farmer, when we had an animal die, we dig a hole and put the slaked lime on it. So it was very common for me to see that. And so as more of the fellows came through, we stood in horror to realize that this was a death camp.
No veteran who saw the death camps ever forgot the experience. It was evil on a scale impossible to comprehend and impossible to forget. Timuel Black, an African-American from the south side of Chicago, found his life dramatically changed after he saw the camp at Buchenwald.
I couldn't believe it, that human beings would systematically do what they were describing. My mind became confused, and really, in one way, I reflected back on my heritage as a grandchild of former slaves. And I must say at that moment, without putting it down on paper, I made up my mind the rest of my life is going to be spent trying to bring peace in the world. That was my mission, and was and has been and is, always will be.
After Generals Eisenhower, Bradley, and Patton toured Ohrdruf, Eisenhower made an important decision. He insisted that his senior brass, plus congressmen, journalists, and most especially the citizens of Germany, should visit the camps. He was determined that no one could ever deny the monstrous atrocities the Nazis had committed during their reign of terror.